Hello, my name is Simone Padur, and I'm the editor for the Access Consciousness UK Ireland blog. And I'm here today with a lovely guest, Melanie Clampit, and we're going to talk about, hi Melanie, we're going to talk about entities and beginning with them and what the heck are they? So Melanie, take it away.
Thank you, Simone, and thank you so much for having me. Hello, I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for joining me for a few minutes. So what is an entity? So an entity is anything with a definition, right? So it can be a person who used to have a body who is still holding on to the definition of who they are. It can be any sort of creation, a painting, a book, the video we're making right now. What if all of these, anything with the definition that we are creating is actually an entity? And it's so funny, a house can be an entity, a car, so many of us, we talk to our houses, we talk to our appliances, we hop in our car, we name our vehicles, right? It's like, what are we actually aware of here? What if there is an actual energy or an actual life form? And what if we can be in communication with it? What if we can be in gifting and receiving with the world around us? And that's one of the beauties, I think, of. So Talk to the Entities is a specialty class of the Access Consciousness work. So we use the Access Consciousness tools in communicating, in receiving, cooperating, and communicating, and also clearing and shifting and moving energies with all energy in the world, including what we call entities. And the question that I often had and I often get is, so why is this actually relevant to me? Right? The example that Shannon O'Hara, who is the developer of the Talk to the Entities work, an example she likes to use is we interacted with bacteria, right? The bacterial kingdom, since we've existed. Now, did we know that it existed? No. Did we realize that we were interacting with it? No, we didn't. But was it having a big impact on our lives? Yes, it was, and yes, it is. So what if working with entities, talking to the entities in our world, including spirits of the earth, and all the other things that I mentioned, we're interacting and engaging with it all the time, and what if it's having an impact? What if in those interactions, just like with bacteria, they can contribute a lot to our lives, and without the awareness of it and making choices with it and knowing we're actually engaging with it, what if it can also be some of the things that contribute to disease, to sickness, to upset, to some of that sense of what the heck is going on that I cannot explain. Mm-hmm. So in being able to have the awareness that we actually are aware, and have someone acknowledge it finally, maybe for the first time, and get a few tools to maybe just be able to say, hey, what am I aware of here? Even just in asking a simple question, you're going to open a door. You're going to first acknowledge, oh, I'm actually aware and engaging with something here. And you get a whole set of tools so that if what you're aware of is creating a challenge in your life or an upset in any way, you can simply and easily resolve it. Not only does it, quote, resolve, but it usually ends up creating something even greater in your life.
Sorry, you're probably going to actually say what's in my head, but so do you have an example from like your own life where something was like not working or, yeah.
Oh, wow. I have a lot of examples. One of them that's a little bit more extreme is for many years, I had a lot of depression and even like suicidal thoughts. And I would go through these moments when I would feel like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going crazy. Right? I think I'm really losing it this time. And the thing that actually changed that for me was when I found the Talk to the Entities tools. And I finally acknowledged the level of awareness that I have, the level of awareness of the unseen world and of the entities and of people, maybe who have passed over, who were depressed, who maybe had trauma in their life. I was highly aware of all of their thoughts, feelings, and emotions, as well as being aware of everyone else's angst and upset on the planet. And with these tools, I was able to go, all right, who does this belong to?
Yeah.
Is this mine? Is it someone else's? Is this an entity's? And even just simply with that question, just acknowledging, gosh, this isn't actually mine.
Yeah.
Because if it's not yours, you can't change it, right?
No. And
Again,
I think that's where people go round and round in circles with all kinds of things, particularly in this realm, because you can't solve something that isn't yours. It
no,
doesn't work.
exactly.
It's like trying to brush somebody else's teeth. Like it's hard.
It is challenging. And the thing is, we often talk about these things in the context of challenges, but also my awareness of all this has also created the space for magic to show up in my life, where I'm also able to engage with these energies and facilitate and contribute to something greater. Right. So it also makes my life magical and miraculous. So I don't just sort of want to leave y'all with, this is just where the hard stuff is, but it's also where the magic is. So what if your awareness of the world around you, which includes the spiritual worlds and the unseen world, is one of your greatest gifts and capacities, right? And by the willingness to acknowledge it and acknowledge, gosh, I'm really, really, really aware, can open that door to you, not only having greater ease with what you're aware of, but also being able to create everything you know should be possible, but maybe you haven't felt like you could access it because we weren't necessarily including everything that we could be including and engaging with it in a way that created greater for us and also creating greater for the world.
So can you give me an example of for yourself, like how engaging with these beings or with as you said, items that are around you? It could be a table, it could be a book, it could be a painting that you're creating. What is some of your positive experiences be, if you will?
Yes. Wow. Let me see. I have so many different examples going through my mind. Well, one of the ways that I've noticed that having these tools has created greater ease in my life is even from this morning. So I woke up, in a rental home in West Hollywood in Los Angeles, right? And we're just sort of coming out of pandemic. Everything is still reopening. So there are a lot of energies going on for people and also just sort of in the neighborhood. Right. And so because I've used these tools so much, I woke up this morning and I noticed that I was already engaging with and interacting with all of those energies in a way that was saying, hey, how are you? And no one has actually ever engaged with these energies in a way that acknowledged them as having their own consciousness and awareness before. And it was amazing because it took this energy that felt sort of spinny and churny and kind of heavy. And just with that acknowledgement, it started to create space and it opened it up. And all of those energies started to become aware. And for me, this is an example of using it in this beautiful way because one of my favorite things is being able to contribute to others, other beings and other energies in a way that creates some more lightness and spaciousness and awareness and joy even. So all of these things that I was aware of, all of the sudden, they sort of woke up and started shifting. And then there was this playful, joyful energy that was like, oh, hi. Oh, wow, I didn't realize anything else was possible. And some people might say, gosh, does it just feel like your imagination? Well, it did for most of my life, right? And now I can actually acknowledge that this isn't just my imagination. This is also reality. It's a reality that's different than the typical reality we're used to. But all of a sudden, I got up out of bed and I had this sense of joy and possibility that I was aware of in the energies I was engaging with, and also that were added to my own life now. And then my phone started sending me messages from 2 years ago from a person who actually lives in the area that I was able to reach out to, and now we're going to connect. So what if our phones, right, our little iBrains, we always joke, what if they have consciousness and awareness too? And all of a sudden, I was being connected through these other entities in my life to people and situations that were going to create even more and greater for me.
That's amazing.
So those are some of the fun ways that we get to,
I love it.
play with
I
these
love it.
tools. That was such a great question. Thank you, Simone.
You're very welcome. Well, thanks for joining me. And if you want to know more about Melanie and what she does and what she creates in the world, you can follow the links on this page and or the information below that I'm sure she will have on here. So thank you very much, Melanie.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.